As you can tell, it's finally heated up, and with all the stuff that's going on and dealing with the watering situation, there's one major deal that's happened, and it's finally come to pass, and I'll tell you what it is: garlic. And with that, I am so overjoyed that this year worked out. Last year was a bummer, one single bulb, but this year that is not a problem. We actually had a decent amount to pick from. So here we go with my video dealing with garlic 2026. You know what? Let me go ahead and we'll deal with that stuff here in a minute. All right. So when it comes to the garlic, like I said, I had more than enough to pick from. Matter of fact, I've been dealing with pulling some garlics for almost a month now, off and on. I had a few early varieties that went ahead and became ready to harvest. So we've been doing that and recording the videos. I just wanted to wait until everything was said and done before I went ahead and put out this video. But here we are. And this year, I sort of kind of started off with the plan of figuring out how I could still grow in containers over the winter and still give the garlic everything that they needed in order to divide and make cloves when the time came for harvesting. And guess what? Even though I failed at half of my experiments that I was trying out this year, the other half that did work out gave me more than enough for harvest for this season. And I've got plenty to go ahead and plant for here in about, what, 3 months or so for next year's crop. So that's awesome. I can't complain about that. And it's a lot better than I did last year. That being said, so when it comes down to the GreenStalk, I made that challenge up with Chad, and I didn't think it was going to be that hard. Well, guess what? It was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I had them in the garage and they started sprouting super early. The soft necks, they did not turn out. I had to use some of my emergency started garlics, which I've thrown little videos about here and there. I put those in there. I'm surprised I got what I ended up getting, but the biggest problem was halfway through the growing, I realized that the bottom tier of my GreenStalk, because I had it in the 2 bottom tiers, they weren't getting as much water as I thought they were. The problem was I had some brassicas 2 tiers above those, and they were sucking up every little bit of water that they could, which included any kind of water that would have been extra in those tiers that would have dropped down to the bottom 2 tiers where my garlic was. But that didn't happen, and I didn't find about that until late, and by then it was too late. So I'm pretty lucky I got anything at all. So we're gonna go ahead and chalk that one up to, you know, it is what it is. The other garlics though, oh my lord, they were beautiful. There were some purple stripes, they were the purple glazers, and they did good. And those are my early ones. I did some Leningrad and Dugansky garlic. Both of those turned out really well as well. I had one pot, a larger square pot, that I had a single clove of, I want to say Leningrad in it. It bulbed up and there were cloves. It was just about half the size of the cloves that were in the bigger pots. But I'm happy with what it did because I can still turn around. They're like pretty decent sized cloves. So when it comes time to replanting, that should turn out pretty well. But other than that, everything sort of kind of fell into place, even though the pots that I overwintered in my raised bed, for some reason, took the longest, even once I took them out of the raised bed, to sprout. And at first I thought that maybe they didn't make it, but eventually I saw growth and everything was fine. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with things worked out this year. I not only doubled what I did last year, I overdid it by a factor of probably 10 or 12. Well, maybe more than that. Anyway, my point is that I had a loss last year. I did not let that beat me. I came up with a game plan that spread out my options, and thank God that one of those options ended up working. The other one didn't completely fail, but that's neither here nor there, because now I have my game plan from this year on. And y'all better watch out, because I'm not playing anymore. Your boy done dialed it in, and he's coming. That's enough for now. Let's get back into what we're here for, results. I'll bring those to you guys in just a minute. All right, so we have to go ahead and get these garlic out of here. If you can see, the leaves are starting to get pretty beat up. I'm worried about maybe rotting the paper here. We are going to be harvesting on this pot these 3. We're going to be leaving this one here because I'm actually growing out the scape. So all of these are going to be removed besides this one here. And then we might even try to pull these ones over here too, because they're starting to look a little raggedy too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get these 3 harvested. Hopefully we can get these out of here without disturbing this one over here that we're trying to leave too much. It just rained cats and dogs last night, so it's probably not the best time to harvest. I wanted these to be a little dry, and I should have brought these into the garage, but I did not. So this is where we're at now. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happens. Let's go ahead and pull up around this. And of course, I will dig up the soil, or put whatever soil back in here that happens to come out once we can actually effectively release this bulb. Boy, these are in here pretty well, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Snap, I just pulled that out. That is gonna be a little bit of a pain right now to get these out, but I want to show you guys how I do it. And for those of you who have your own garlic out there, maybe you need to pull yours too. All right, it's coming loose. And what do we have? We have a bulb of garlic, y'all. There we go. And it feels like it's cloved. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull the rest of these. I'll leave you guys on, but I'm probably not going to talk all that much until I can get them all out of here. But yeah, so there's that. So let's keep going. And there you go. One nice one right there in the middle. The other 2 are okay. They're not complete winners, but hey, you take what you can get. All right, I've been thinking about it, and I think I've already made my call. The judgment on this one is we're pulling them. I've got others around the side of the house, but I'm gonna let all of those just chill for right now. These ones though are coming out. And if I didn't say on the first one, the first variety was called Leningrad, and I believe this one here is also a Leningrad. Yes, it is Leningrad as well. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so we've got one definitely that we're going to be weighing for sure for the single biggest bulb, but something also tells me that these will not be the biggest ones that I will have this year. That's just a little, I don't know, inside information for now, but by the time you guys see this, everything will be done. These are very, very early bulbs. They just happen to ripen or mature sooner than the others I have. Oops, I think I might have accidentally hit that when I wasn't trying to. Where are you at? No, I didn't get to it yet. It's way down in there. Okay, I can see the bulb. So we're gonna go down under the roots. Bingo. Don't worry, we're gonna also be cleaning these off a little bit better. I'll probably end up washing them off, even though you're not supposed to. But there we go, one bulb. Okay, now we're going to the next. Going around, and then boom, out she comes. Okay, let's see the bulb. So I'm gonna go down below it, break those roots, break the other roots, and then out she comes. Alright guys, there we have it. All three came out of that pot for Leningrad. So let's see what we have. We'll wash these off and see what's left. Okay, ladies and gents, these are the garlic that we got today that we just harvested. I've washed them all off, unlike you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to add any kind of extra water to rinse them off. You're supposed to leave dirt on them. But for the challenge, I made this sacrifice. So now we just have to go ahead and figure out which ones, if any of these, we're going to try to weigh for, say, the biggest, bulb. Obviously, this one's front leader. It's probably the only one I'm going to weigh. The rest of these, I probably will go ahead and weigh just for, the giggles. But most of these aren't going to make it anyway, so I might just hang them up too. So you'll find out as soon as I figure it out. All right, now we're back inside. This is the same single bulb we're going to be weighing. And since all is fair in garlic wars, we're going to go ahead and play by the rules. So, part of the rules, I've cleaned it off reasonably. You saw me hose it off. Well, you didn't see me hose it off, but it's way cleaner now than it was. I promise you. We're going to go ahead and cut our roots. I am not going to be like a super strict stickler about that. I mean, look, that's reasonable. Reasonable roots. Cut. Then, this is the tricky part. You grab your bulb, just like that, fingers. We are going to rest it on my fingers and cut. There we go. Again, per the rules. Now, we're at the weight. You see me cut it, you see me trim it, you saw me pull it. Now, we are going to do this in multiple weights. So we're going to do, what you really all need to focus on really is, let's just do ounces. This bulb is 3.4 ounces, or 95 grams. So I'm almost positive this will not be my challenge winner for single biggest bulb, but hey, it is what it is. I needed to show you guys how to do it, and that's exactly what you have to do. All right, now that our little rainstorm is passed by, I've come to a conclusion, and that conclusion is we are just going to go ahead and call this whole experiment right now. So that means that I'm pulling all of these here for a couple of reasons. They're not going to grow that much longer. The leaves are already starting to die off, so it's about as good as it's going to get for these. So I'm going to start I'm going to continue where I started off with, which is this tier here. So we're just going to go around and around until we get them all pulled off and done for today. And really, you guys know that I've grown these, so it's not like I show up and be like, surprise, here, I got bulbs. Because I did grow these, and I could just do that But keeping in the spirit of things, see, told you, small bulb. Keeping in the spirit of things, I'm going to show you guys my actual harvest as I'm doing it. So, all right, so we've got that one out. Let's see, we got any more in that upper level? Let's turn this a little bit and see. I don't see any more in the upper level. All right, so that means we're gonna go down to the bottom tier. All right, apparently my video cut off on me. Maybe a raindrop from one of these plants hit the stop button. So I harvested the second small garlic from down there. It's nothing to write home about. If you want to see what it looked like, this is it. Not all that big, but it's not a surprise. So we're going to continue on because I'm saving the larger bulbs for very last, because I think if anything is going to be worth it and anything that's going to be weighed is going to come from these last, let's see what we got, 3. So this one's probably going to be another small one, but I'm not going to try to pretend like it's going to be anything else but that, a small one. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Here it comes. Here she comes. All right, and what do you know? Another small bulb like I was expecting. Big whoop-de-doo, Will. Wow. See, it's a good thing we only made this challenge to be one bulb out of the GreenStalk, your biggest one, because yeah, I didn't realize or foresee it being this big of a problem. I'll tell you what, this is going to be the last one we do. We're going to pull this one here. It's all flopped over because it's obviously a soft neck. So let's get it. Popped her loose. Let's see what we've got. Well, let me shake off the soil first. Well, it's better than the ones we've been getting. Now, for the final hope of my garlic harvest, we're going to the very last bulb. I want to make sure I keep this in shot for you guys because I have a feeling that this one's going to be the best one of them all, and also the one that I'm going to be weighing. So I want you guys to see it. All right, I think I can get it out now. Ready? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, yep. Well, again, a little disappointing, but this is the one we got. So, like I said, bigger than the rest, but not all that big. But hey, at least they're all something. I can eat all of them, and that's the point. I finished with more than I started with. So let's go ahead and get this inside and weigh it. So first thing we're going to do is show you all of them that we harvested today, so you can sort of kind of just get comparisons to the size of each one. Let's do that. So I mean, it's not too terribly bad. I got more than I started with, and these will all eat right. Then these are the two biggest ones. This is obviously a soft neck. This is a hard neck. Not really sure which one's bigger. I think this one's slightly bigger. So before we do the actual weighing, we're gonna have to clean this puppy up a bit. All right, you see we got this one now cleaned up. This other one's right here, and we've got the soft neck here. So let's go ahead and see what she weighs. Grams, 35 grams. That can't be right. 35 grams for that one. They both weigh the same. 35 grams. 35 grams. Okay. And because I want to end on a good note, at least on this series of, pulling garlic, we're gonna go and do this last one. Now you're gonna see the scape here, and I'm leaving it on purpose because I want it to go to seed, because I'm gonna try my hand at that, even though it's gonna take a couple of years to do it. But the important part is that there's another one down here, and these did not have any issues with watering. Let me get you guys tilted right. These had no issues with watering at all. So we're going to end with a bang on this one, because as you can see, it's starting to die back. And since we're leaving the other one, I just want to see what's going on with this one. This is a hard neck, obviously. This one is the Leningrad. We're going to pull it and see if it's going to be one of my contenders, potentially for my largest bulb or the collection of my 5 largest bulbs. All right, I think we got it loosened up, guys. Let's get her pulled. Oh yeah, now that's what a bulb of garlic is supposed to look like, my people, my friends. That's what garlic is supposed to look like. Who says you can't grow garlic in a pot? Who says you can't grow good garlic in a pot? Look at her. Ain't she pretty? And just for a size comparison, that's my hand, y'all. That's my freaking hand. I got big hands. That's what I'm talking about. So yes, we finished up on a good note, because that's a nice one. I'm gonna clean her off a little bit. That is definitely a contender. Alright, I was gonna record this part inside, but your boy's wife decided to listen to tiki-talkie, and I can't sit here and record a video with her tiki-talkie in the background. So, this is the bulb we just harvested out of that one pot that had the scape that I'm letting to go to seed. And like I said, it's a big one. So, we're gonna go ahead and do everything that we would normally want to do, which is, first, trimming off the roots. Are trimmed. Gonna get a reasonably clean bulb as far as dirt goes. I'm not gonna wash this one off. I'm gonna let this be, because after I wait, I'm still gonna try to dry it and make it last. Everybody be careful when you're doing yours so you don't cut yourself. There we go. Again, proper neck on it. Now, let's get all this off of here. Turn this sideways so you guys can see it. Okay, tear it. Okay, here we go. Ready? This is in grams. 95 grams. In ounces, that will be, 3.4 ounces. So this one and my other that I've already weighed so far seems like that's about where they're going to come out at, is about 3.4 ounces a piece. And again, this is the Leningrad variety. We've still got one more, which is the Dugansky garlic, which are a later maturing variety. So we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer on those to see which ones are the bigger, heavier ones. But I mean, wow, even if I come in, say, second place to somebody in the crew, I am not complaining. That is a nice head of garlic. All right, during this segment of the video, this is just me going ahead and pulling garlic from these 2 of my larger buckets. If you didn't know, I live in Indiana, and one thing Indiana knows about is racing, and we just had that to deal with in the background this day. So instead of trying to shout through it, I just did this voiceover. We already go ahead and showing you harvesting these bulbs. The thing about these bulbs, though, is I had these in my raised bed, and I think that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. So instead of just like having them out in the open, I kept them in the raised bed, and the raised bed protected them over winter, so I could actually get them to, overwinter properly. And because of that, these guys turned out really good. Now, they're not all the size of a, challenge winning garlic here, but considering that I think I planted like 8 of them into this bucket, but not all of them survived, which is why that onion is sitting there inside of the bucket with them. But, it ended up turning out pretty well. And I think from next year, I'm taking some of my biggest bulbs and I'm throwing them into these larger buckets just to make sure, I get as much as I can get out of these. So, I mean, I can't complain because you see this garlic, man, these were some nice bulbs. We're gonna go right now for the heaviest bulb, and I believe this one is it. You can see the scale. It is in ounces. So here we go. So we got 3.7 there. 3.1. Okay, guys. This sucks for me because these were heavier earlier. Somehow, some way, my video that I showed of my actual weight got, I don't know, corrupted or just didn't work. So now here I am, and again, like I said, I'm losing weight because of the water, but hey, here we go. So my largest single clove, let's see, it's 3.6 ounces. 2.9 ounces. It's 3 ounces, so it looks like my official weigh-in is going to be this one, 3.7 ounces for the single biggest bulb. Now, we're going to do the 5. All right, there we go. Again, I don't know what happened with that video. It just sucks. This is definitely lighter than the weight that I had earlier when I was outside. But, hey, it's something. Okay, there we go, 14.4. That's what we're going with, 14.4. All right, so that's what we got for the garlic challenge this year. At least my side of it. Now, we all know anybody that's willing to participate this year, you guys have until August the 15th to get in your clips. That way I can try to look for them, Chad can try to look for them, find them, and I will try to do the same system as I did last year, where as I go through them and record your guys' submissions, I will comment that I got it, and that I will also put in what it was that you recorded for your submissions. So if you guys put up a video and it's starting to get close to the 15th of August and you still don't see a comment from me, let me know. That way I can make sure I grab it, because I want everybody that wants in this year to be there. Oh, and as far as, the jibber jabber back and forth between me, talking crap about, Doug, aka Croc Gardener, or anybody else in the crew, please know this is just me having some fun with them, and they know this. I just wanted to make sure, if my jabs here and there got a little bit tiring, I can understand that, but I was also having fun, and so were they. So please, any of the clips that the C2C crew puts out, let them know that, you've seen them, and that it's just all in the spirit of fun and games, because that's what we're here for, is just to, entertain, have fun, and grow some stuff. It just happens to be garlic in this instance, so I just wanted to make sure I said that, because it's all love. It always has been, it always will be. We're family. So with that, I hope that your guys' entries, if you choose to join, are awesome. I want there to be close, races for winners for each category. And even if you're not representing Team Airman, I appreciate your participation because, like I said, this is all fun and games, and the more the merrier. So thank you for participating if you have, and if you haven't and you've just enjoyed this whole deal about the garlic or whatever, I appreciate that as well. So if you want to sit there and participate or want this to run again next year, let me know down in the comment section. It's not a big deal. Just, you know, if you want to participate and you just didn't or found out about that late, you know, let me know down there so I can make sure we roll this again. All right. So for now, I'm your boy, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. And I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you guys later.